Madhouse doesn't hold back with its fight scenes. More specifically, decapitating, slashing in half, stabbing, blood. It doesn't hold back. No, they do not. This episode of Overlord, alright? I'll start from the beginning, but before, if you haven't seen this episode, I highly recommend you go watch it. There'll be linked down in the description. Follow me on Twitter, go check out this anime, pause this review, come back after you've seen this, and then just resume watching. If you're still watching, good for you, you've seen the episode, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Alright, time to get into the review. So, at the very beginning of this episode, before we have the no holding back bloodfest, we have some new characters. The Royal Knights, pretty much almost, or the really high up knights and everything, with the strongest swordsman in the world as their leader, Gazef. And they were rushing to a village and they saved some survivors, but they wanted to split off. The chief wants them to split off to escort some of them back to the capital, El Rotel, or Eat Rotel and everything. But so the vice chief doesn't want to do that because it might be a trap to get rid of him, so they can have firepower against the king and all that, his royal inner circle and all that. But he says, how many times when you were a child did you want people to come save you, to adventurers, some hero and all that? And the vice chief's like, I can't deny that I wanted that. But no one ever came for some people and everything. And Gazef wants to be that kind of person who comes and saves them and actually saves lives instead of disregarding other people's lives. So he doesn't care if it's a trap or not, he'll still save them. Then it switches over to Momonga, who is figuring out how to use a mirror that lets them pretty much go. He can scan the surrounding areas, have like an aerial view, and he found out this village was being attacked by what we saw was like a knight's order at the very end and everything of episode 2, that cliffhanger we had. So at first he's like, he saw people being killed and all that, and Sabus is like, do we go save them? And he's like, no, there's no benefit. But then he remembers one of the guild members had saved him when he was in Yggdrasil, and he was a low-level character and all that he didn't know. So he wants to repay his debt to Hiro-san and all that, I believe. And so he goes and saves these two girls. I'm assuming it's an older sister and a little sister, by having a literal gate. He walks through a warp gate and ends up right behind them. And what he does, and then Albedo soon later comes out fully in armor and everything, and just holy shit. Momonga, he uses 9th tier magic, kills one of the knights and everything. Then he uses 5 tier magic and kills the other one, and then revives that one with as a middle tier undead knight and all that, and that thing is fucking badass. Momonga, he's a good guy and everything, but he doesn't feel anything now when he kills humans, so it only further solidifies that he's become non-human fully in this new world, because he doesn't get upset over killing humans. He can watch people being stabbed and sliced in half and all that and not feel a thing. And he's changing. But he still saved those two girls, and then even put a barrier over them through some things so they can call a goblin army that they can command to protect them, and he even healed the older sister's wounds and all that. And he's just like, my name is Lord Ainz Al Gun. Bruh, Momonga. I'm fucking enjoying this episode. And he's starting to spread his name throughout, and Ainz Al Ghul is, I believe it was the guild's name and everything. He's going to spread that around, so if any other players from Yggdrasil are still there and have been transported there, they'll know the name, which is it's a double kind of effect and everything. He saves people, gets his name spread, and he gets a reputation. So when he creates the Undead Knight, he tells him to go attack the other knights that are attacking the villagers and all that, and the Undead Knight just charges off, And then he proceeds to heal the girl's wounds and all that, and I'm loving how, like, nice he appears and how they're still afraid of his skeleton face. So he puts on a mask afterwards and goes into the village, but we get a shot of mostly the Death Knight, or Undead Knight and everything. He's rampaging around, slaughtering the knights that are slaughtering the villagers. Ironic. The knights that slaughter villagers get slaughtered themselves. But seriously, Madhouse, they don't hold back. They don't give a fuck. You saw one guy get decapitated! And blood shootout! Sure, there are instances where some was, like, slightly censored, but still, you got fucking blood. The Death Knight was repeatedly stabbing and stabbing and stabbing and stabbing and stabbing one guy. He went on a fucking rampage. He went on a Slaughterfest. Holy shit. You don't fuck with the Death Knight. And then Ainz Al Ghul or Momonga, he comes flying down along with Albedo, who's still in her armor and all that, and they stop the Death Knight, and he lets the rest of the knights go free, tells them to tell his name and what happens if they attack the village again. He'll slaughter the entire kingdom and all that. So his name's gonna be spread further, which I do like. And then we even got some world building. Momonga asked, he didn't want to seem too suspicious, so he asked for commercial gain and all that. So he got knowledge, he got money, he got all this sorts of things. He found out that there were adventurers in the next town, El Ratel, and everything. That the world building, there's like 3 major empires, and this village was Carne Village, closest to the El Ratel and everything. Then we learned that the drizzle money doesn't work here. We just got a bunch of information and all that helps build the world, the settings, the characters a little bit more. We even found out monsters attack villages and adventurers will hunt them and all that for rewards. So, all in all, that's actually pretty damn good. This episode was awesome, and I loved how Momonga just commanded the Death Knight, and the Death Knight slaughtered the knights. Then at the very end and all that, we have Gazef, who came into town and all that, and thanked Momonga after finding out that he saved the village. And the funny thing is, Momonga, he has the ability to revive dead villagers, but he doesn't. A magic caster that he just goes by a magic caster. He doesn't want to reveal what he truly is and all that. So he goes by a magic caster that just brings death, not a magic caster who can revive the dead, because a magic caster that could revive the dead would have a lot more trouble than a magic caster who brings death, because you'd have people coming up, can you revive him, revive, all over and over, and it would be exhausting. So he said, unless there comes a reason, they will remain dead, but be grateful that I at least saved you. He was thinking mostly to himself, and once again he says acting is tiring. Momonga. We even get a little tidbit of information on Albedo. She hates humans. Well, she hates all lower life form, weak creatures and everything, because she loves strong, and she thinks it'd be wonderful and beautiful to see them crushed underneath her foot and all that, or etc. She calls them bugs and all that. So Momonga just says, try to act nice to them. It's acting is key and all that. So, and then at the very end we get another little bit of a cliffhanger. Apparently, an army was surrounding the village. Momonga's gonna have to do some work. Boy, am I fucking excited. Episode 4, please. Alright, so, this episode was pretty damn good. We got some world building, more character development, more character slaughter and all that. And if you haven't already, leave a like, comment, subscribe for more reviews, reactions, vlogs, the usual. Be sure to follow the links in the description. Follow me on Twitter, watch this episode if you haven't already. And watch lots of anime. Have a good day. I'll see you guys in the next video. My lovely community, civilians, citizens. Bye-bye.